This big issue with Medibank, customer data, private data, your medical data, pretty shocking, upsetting. 9.7 million customers have been affected. This morning, the hackers stooped to a new low. They posted new information purporting to contain abortion information on the dark web. The issue was front and centre in federal parliament today.
And I want the scumbags behind this attack to know that the smartest and toughest people in this country are coming after you.
Can the minister inform the House of any specific actions taken, as opposed to just expressing sympathy, to crack down on cyber criminals?
Order.
Why has the minister not taken up the Coalition's ransomware bill introduced into Parliament over a month ago?
It is so regrettable that at a moment like this, the opposition wants to politicise the pain and suffering of Australians. This is an incredibly embarrassing question from someone who was the Minister for Cybersecurity 5 months ago.
Joining me now, Trevor Long, editor and tech commentator on the online news site EFTM. We need an expert on this. The minister, we just heard from her there, has been hiding from the media on most of this, Trevor. But people are sitting at home tonight, 9.7 million Medibank customers, wondering how on earth they can control the release of this information. What are they supposed to do? What can be done?
Yeah, Peter, unfortunately, good evening. The problem is the horse is bolted. And that's what the real message needs to be to those 9.7 million people. Hackers have obtained that information and they're going to do with it what they want, no matter who pays any ransoms. And that's critical. Medibank's not going to pay a ransom. And if they did, the information's gone. If you get a ransom and you pay them, the information's gone. So what we need to be thinking about is what's going to happen with that information. And I'm most worried about the around 500,000 people whose information does also include health. So it actually includes diagnosis or clinics they've visited. Those people have the most to lose, essentially, in terms of their mental health, in terms of other people learning about their conditions.
Again, so what do we do about it? I mean, there's a lot of hand-wringing in the parliament today, but if you're one of these people that perhaps you've got HIV or you've had an abortion and you've not told anyone in your family, this has got to be incredibly stressful. Or you've got cancer and you perhaps haven't told your employer. What happens to them?
Yeah. I think that's the really important thing, and I've looked at some of the data. It includes things like addictions, mental health issues. There's a range of health conditions, and those people now need to think that, okay, the information is theoretically available, but it's only valuable if someone is interested in it. And so I think we've already got a pretty good consensus around the media not to publish this information. And essentially, if we as a community, as a society, say to ourselves, we don't want the information, I'm not going to look at the information, I'm not going to trade in the information, then it devalues the data completely and therefore hopefully stops it being traded. But more importantly, it allows those people who are most affected, and there's 500 people today whose information is absolutely available to cyber criminals online. It allows them to say, hopefully, my family, my friends, my employer are not going to judge me on these things, because that's the only thing we can do as a community, is not judge, not report, and essentially not shame people because of conditions they've had.
Okay, well, it won't be reported here on Sky News. I'm pretty confident the privacy of these people will be respected, but we see how stuff gets pushed around on social media. Go back to the origin of the problem. I mean, the reason hackers got in there is that clearly there wasn't enough protection on the Medibank system. But also, does Medibank need to keep in perpetuity, it would seem, this level of very intimate personal health information? I mean, I think part of the problem in here, the firewalls aren't strong enough, sure, but we give up way much more information than we perhaps need to, and they keep it for far too long.
Yeah. And the government says, well, we'll review the Privacy Act. It'll happen next year. Not good enough. Do it now and insist that companies are not able to keep information of people who are no longer customers. The only slight exemption to that might be telecommunications companies who need to keep information for 2 years so that law enforcement can find people who commit crimes using the telecommunications. But for any other service, if you are no longer a customer, your data should be purged, and we should expect that as citizens. And the government should be standing up today and saying, this is what we expect. Plus, we expect data to be encrypted, because humans will always make mistakes. Someone will always accidentally leave that door open. So why, when they get in, are they able to see the data? That is abhorrent and it shouldn't be possible. So hackers need to be able to have more hoops to jump through to get the information.
Well, let's hope that happens sooner rather than later. Trevor Long, thank you.